Working on alter statement, right? So we did quite a few in it, a few examples, and this was kind of everything in one. We did add and change, drop, adding a new primary column, everything. Like we've almost covered everything. This is a little bit left in this one. I'll complete this, and then we'll go on to do complex select statements today, right? So more of select statements, inbuilt functions and group by and so on. So more of it. And then there is an in class. So that's today's agenda, to finish off the complex select statement in a couple of scripts and then go on to doing the in class. So that's what I'm going to do today. So all the files that you need, you should have downloaded last week. So remember, I gave you 2 zip files, a week 8 and week 8-9 last week. So that's what I'm trying to finish today. Okay, so alter table statement. You've created a table. You should always design it well before you basically make it live. In the sense, you put data into it and you start using it, but things can happen in the sense that new fields are added or something gets changed, and you have to change the structure of the table. So the alter table statement is used to change the structure of the table. You want to change the name of a field, the size of a field, you want to add a primary column, you want to change the name of a table, drop some columns, whatever, right? So that's what it does. So that's the structure. And remember, to look at the structure, we have the describe structure statement, not the select all. Okay, so we were here, we had this table, we had a few things in it. So if you don't remember, very quickly, I'll go through it. We had created a database. We were qualifying our table instead of using the use table database statement. And once you do that, then you have to qualify the table everywhere. Keep in mind, this is our local machine, so it's kind of easy to manipulate things. But on a server, many databases may be in use and so on. So you always, on the safe side, irrespective of what's in use or what's going on, you qualify your table. So if you qualify your table, you are always using the right table from the right database. So keep that in mind. That's a rule. Okay. Okay, and then we had a few fields. We changed their name. We changed the name of the table. We changed the names of some fields. I think we also changed their sizes. We added a primary key. And now we were at a stage where we were adding 4 new columns, and then we were supposed to split the address column, which was in 4 parts. And the 4 parts were, every part was separated by a comma and a blank. So the rule was given to you, right? You have to know it, otherwise how will you split? So a comma and a blank separates every field in the address field. So if you go back to the data, notice this is the address field. It has 4 parts to it, right? It has 4 parts. So I created 4 new columns, and this is what I want to do. Move 6223 Bettman Street, the first part into the first column, the second into the second column, the third into the third column, and the last one into the last column. So now again, we did many string functions, and as I said, there's no end to it. It depends, and it's no rule that whatever I use, you have to use too. I have done it using the substring function. I just find it easy, but you can use it. You can do it using the index function also. You can find out the position of the first comma, the second comma, the third comma. Once you have their positions, then you always know. So if the first comma is at 7, you want to extract the first 6, for example, right? Then you have the first at 6 and the second at 17, for example. That means you have to, you know how many to extract, and you can use a function to, the substring function to extract. So it can be done in many ways. I just chose the substring index function because I found it to be easy, right? So it's up to you at that point of time when you're doing something, whatever strikes works. Okay, as long as it works correctly, it's fine. So what I have done is, I have done it this way. I've used the substring index function to get the first part till the first comma. I've used the substring index to get the last part from the right hand side. You can get it from both sides, right? The plus takes it from the left, the right takes it from the minus takes it from the right. And then I did this. I picked up the first 2 using the substring index, and then I took the right of that. I took the last 2, and then I took the left of it. Like that's how I did it, because there were 4 of them. But again, as I said, whatever works for you is fine. So see how I did it. And of course, you can do it whatever. If something else seems easy to you, sure, do it that way. Okay, so, so I have already written it. So let me do it with you. I gave you the solution already, right? So you were here, I think, when we left last week. You had added the 4 columns and you were here. Yes.
I have, sorry, can you scroll down for a second just so I can take a Because I have pretty much the same thing, except it's erroring out.
Okay, it's erroring out. So this is where we left last week, right? At line number 52. I said we'll now try to split the address field on the 4 fields, right? That's what we did. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So one at a time, okay? So I have written it because I was trying it, and you write it with me. So we'll take one at a time. Let's go one at a time. Then we'll come back. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to update our table. Again, you can copy it if you like, or this will be on Blackboard after I'm done. Whatever works for you, but understand what I've done. The first was very easy. From the address part, from the left-hand side till the first comma, I have picked up. So remember the substring index. On what do you want to apply? The string field. What till where do you want to go? Till what do you want to create the substring? Till the first comma. Why first comma? Because it's a 1 here. And from the left-hand side. Okay, so I'm extracting the substring from the left till the first comma is what I'm doing. And that will go into number and street, right? So this one is easy. Okay, now the second, I want the second now. Yes.
So the second one is city equals trim.
Okay, let's see. You did it a different, and again, mine could be different. I didn't do a trim in this one just because my data was neat, and I said that each field is divided by a comma and a blank. That was specific. But trim always is a safe side. Yeah, you can always do a trim. You could do a trim right here also. Like nothing stops you. You can use a trim right here also. I didn't do it because specifically I said that data was neat and clean and split by a comma and a blank. So I didn't do any trim. I knew there was no extra blanks either way. It's because I said so, right? So this is the time you have to peek inside the data. You have to know how the field is because you have to split it, right? So there is no other way. Okay, what I did in the next one is I took the first 2, right? And then I extracted it from the right. Okay, so let's look at what I did. And again, as I said, there are many ways of doing it. I was trying the index and that also works. This seemed to be the most simple. Okay, what did I do? Let's look at it one at a time. I took the substring till the second comma. Comma and a blank is what I've said because I've said that's how it is split, right? Right, so I take so what does this do? Get everything till the second comma. So what do you have? Till the second comma, you have 1 part, comma, 2 part. So you've split it till here. So this is part 1, this is part 2, then you have a 3, and then you have a 4. Okay, so the highlighted portion, right now the highlighted text on my laptop is picking up the first 2 fields. Why? It says pick up from the address field till the second comma blank. So you've picked up till here. Now out of this, what do you want to get? The right? So you have this now. What do you want to get out of it? From the right, you want the first, till the first. So what have I done on it? I've again applied the substring index on it. From the right-hand side, look for the first comma blank. What do I get? Field number 2. I get field number 2, right? The other option was find out the position of the first comma, find out the position of the second comma, subtract the 2, you will know how many characters to pick up from where. That can be done too. Right? So the highlighted portion is picking up the first 2 fields of the address field, the first 2 parts of the address field, subfields of the address field. From that, I'm extracting from the right-hand side the first part. So what am I getting? Field number 2. This I put into city, right? So that's how I found it. Okay, third. Now what do you want to do? You want to find this field, field number 3. Same, I did the same thing. I picked up 3 and 4, and then I picked up the left-hand side of 3 and 4, which is part number 3. Right? So how do I pick up 3 and 4? Oh, the zip was easy. The zip was just, and again, I didn't trim anything because I didn't have any blanks. This I did a left trim because I had an extra blank to it. That's it. So you can trim everywhere. It really doesn't matter. It's not a big deal at all.
Apparently you can't trim for city because that's what made mine error out.
Oh, okay. Wait, I think I know it. Why I didn't trim? Because because I have a comma and a blank, and then I say trim it. Take the left hand side of the first comma. Yeah. Right. I can trim it here. Yes. I remember I did something, and then you're right. That's why it errors out.
That was my issue.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Do I have an extra one? Okay, there. Yep, that was your issue.
Yeah.
So I just did like normal thing, like nothing great, because the other ones were taking more time and more effort. The index one was taking more time and more effort. This was the easiest, right? This was the easiest. Look at, so the zip is easy. We'll do the state first, just because in sequence, that's all, nothing big about it. Let's remove the semicolon here. So what did I do about the substring? And these trimmings were done keeping in mind, I saw my answer, what I was getting, and then I said, oh, I need to trim or I don't need to trim. So I didn't do a trim in the first two because I didn't need to do it. I didn't have to do it, but here I needed a trim. I needed a left trim. Okay, so what did I do? I took from the last 3 and 4 from here. That's what -2 will do. It says look for the second comma from the right. So second comma from the right means you will have 3 and 4. You will have actually comma blank 3 comma blank 4. That's why I did a left trim to remove this blank. That's why I did a left trim. Okay. So I had to look up what I had to remove. So when I say pick up the last 2 from the right, I'll get it in here. I'll get blank city comma blank zip. So I had to remove this blank. So I did a left trim. Okay. And then once I have 3 and 4, now from the left hand side, I have to pick up the first one, which I did. I picked up the first one from the left. So now I have my state. This left trim is important, otherwise you will have an extra blank in front of address of this state. You will. So you have to remove it. It's untidy, right? Every state will have a blank in front of it. And the last one was just the zip. The zip was taking everything from the left hand side, from the right hand side, and look for the first comma from the right hand side. So I entirely went substrict index. I did it with index. It was much more complicated. It took more time. It took more functions. So why not use a function that you only have to use one function? It's just easier, right? So you can try if you like with index and lefts and mids and rights. It was more work. So this was the easiest that I found, right? So logically, the first one can be extracted substrict index from the left hand side. The last one can be extracted from the right hand side. The first comma from the right hand side. The second one, take the first 2 from the left and then take the first one from the right. For 3 and 4, take the last 2 from the right and then take the first from the right. Right? So think what you want to do and then put it down. Wherever you need a trim, this trim is not required. Believe me, it's not. It works. I know it works. But if you need it, do it. If you don't need it, you don't have to do it. So you were given this rule. The rule was the address field consists of 4 parts, each part separated by a comma and a blank, comma and a blank, comma and a blank. So I have to know. I mean, you have to know how to split it up. Either I'll tell you the first 10 characters is this, the last 20 characters, I'll tell you something. I have to tell you something. You have to know, otherwise how will you split? You're trying to split data. You have to know the format of the data. So it works. It works, right? So that's how I did it. And again, as I said, it's up to you. So I had these fields. I had given you exact widths actually. For column zip, I had only given you 5. For state, I had only given you 2. So if I've only given you 2 and you have an extra blank in front of state, you will lose it, which you cannot do, right? So exactly, I gave you the lengths exactly that I needed. If I make it 3, then maybe without left trim it will work, but I don't want to keep it 3. I want to keep it exactly 2. So this sizes, if you don't use the right size, these sizes were given by me because I knew what each was. See, every state was 2 characters and every zip was 5 characters. Now I couldn't kind of place a length on these ones. This could be different. And so could this be different. So this I kind of made a general kind of 15, 20 and 15 is what I said. But here I was specific. And I said character 2 and character 5. So how you use the substring functions or your index or your left or right, doesn't matter what you use. You have to be careful. You only have 2 for state and you only have 5 for zip. So trimming is necessary. And therefore notice how I have a left trim in both my cases. I need it because I have that extra blank in front of them. Whenever you come from the right hand side and you're looking for this comma, there is a blank after it. You have to remove it. You will have to remove it. So if you know these string functions, it won't be done in 1 or 2 minutes. It may take 10 minutes, for example. You know what I mean? Like, you know them, you have to apply them. And the best way, remember how I was doing it last week? I was doing a select statement on it. Select this, select this. Once I know it works, then I just plug it in. So the select is the easiest way of seeing it. So just don't embark on starting set statement and say, oh, this should work, this should work. It will take you time then, because you won't know where the error is occurring. So the easiest way is select substring this from your table, and you know how it is working. And that's how I do it. So it will take a little while when you're doing your string functions. So be ready for it, right? So now I have all the 4 fields set properly. Remember, whenever I am setting more than one fields, all I have to do is separate them by commas. So I have commas between each field and the semicolon at the end. Job done. So this was the only major thing that was left last week from this script, but we'll move forward. I just did a select to see everything was working. Of course, once it is done, I'll remove all my extra select statements. It's a mess, right? I want to see my table at the end, or whatever the requirement is of your assignment or exam. The next one said to move the phone field after the zip field. Remember how we do it? Using the modify. So if you just have to change the type in here, I don't even have to change the type. So it's better to use modify rather than change. You could have used change. In change, you would have to repeat the field name also again. Here, I don't have to do it. I just don't have to do it. So modify is easy. Mine gives a red here, says it doesn't work, but it works. We all know that. I'm just at an older version. At this point, I don't want to change my versions just for the heck of it. So I'm just leaving it for the rest of the semester. I'm not far behind, only a 0.1 away from you, but things have changed, right? So modified phone, the same thing. There is no change in the type or the field name. Nothing. There is no change. All I did was I said after zip. So remember, in SQL, only 2 things work: after and first. Nothing else works. So you can place a field at the first position, or you can place a field after a position, after a field. For other relational databases, you could have first, second, third, fourth, and so on. Last is also available, and before is also available. So since we are doing MySQL, don't worry about the rest. All you can do is first or after. So if I'm asking you before, look in the table and see what's after it, right? What is the field after it? So just manipulate that. If I'm saying you something is before something, all you have to see is what is it after? And you can use the after verb, okay? So those are the only 2 possibilities in MySQL: after a field and as first. The default is last. Keep that in mind. That's all. Don't worry about the rest. There are more options in other relational databases. So this alter table statement is, I'm using modify because I thought that was the best one to use. I didn't see any sense in using a change here. I don't want to change the name. I don't want to change the type. So the better of the 2 worst ones is modify, right? They both are not best, but because the option is I have to use something, so modify is better. So change is not wrong, but modify is better. So if nothing is mentioned, I leave it to you, whatever you want to do, right? But always, as a programmer, always try to write efficient code. Look for the best solution, not for this works solution. Keep that in mind if you want to be a good programmer. The last one was tedious, so I wrote it for you. All you have to do is you have to update the phone numbers for the authors to this in the same order as the records given above, right? So the first record had an ID, so I'm saying set the phone, and remember, author ID is my primary key. It's a norm and logically quite correct that if you have to update a record, the best way of updating a record is through its primary key field. Why? Because the primary key field is unique in nature. So that's the best way of updating a record. You could have updated it through last name also, but I wouldn't say. That would not be right. So I wouldn't say do it. That wouldn't be right, because names can be duplicates, right? So when you are updating, and if I was doing this, I don't need these SQL safe updates. Then you won't get an error with updates, because you're updating fields using primary keys. And that's quite logical. If you kind of look at it, if you have to update something, what should you search by? By the primary key. Why? Because the primary key is unique, not null and unique. So that would be the best field to pick up a record, to search for a record, and change something in it. That would be the best field. And that's what I've done. You could have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 update statements if you like. That's up to you. You could have written 7 different update statements if you like. I went with the case because just so that you could revise it again. Right? We've seen it once in the exam, then we saw it once again last week, and I just wrote this so that you see it again. Now I haven't written any default case, but if you wanted to write a default case, this is what you will do. You will say else 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. The same default basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Yeah, you can add this. It says if you can't find it, then this is what you give it. Kind of the default case, right? So again, default case is always is something good to add to your case statement, so that it says if nothing happens, do this. So you're basically saying set phone, if this is the author ID, do this. If this is the author ID, do this. If you can't find any of these author IDs, then set the phone number to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. That was the default also, remember? That was the default also. So I would just add it so that if I see something like this in a record, I'm saying, oh, this wasn't updated. That gives me an additional plus point. If I see this phone number in a record, I know this record was not updated. I mean, the chances are very less that the phone number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could do hash, put dash, whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Like I just did numbers because that's what I had. So if you want to kind of say something else, you can say hash or dash or whatever, like whatever you like. You can even put a blank for your information. Why? Because there was a default there, remember? So if you put blank, that means, oh, something is wrong. This never got updated. So there are ways of picking up invalid data in your table. So I add it. So this was just tedious, more work to write. So I thought I'll just do it for you. And this will come on Blackboard. So as long as you understand what it is, we are okay. And there was one which was saying drop the column, right? Drop the, oh, there it is, 8. Sorry, I missed out 8. To drop the address column. Why? Because you've extracted data. Once you extract it, then drop it. Don't drop it before. Okay? Don't drop the column before you extract the data. So 7 was extracting the data. So I'll remove this just because too many selects make a mess and you don't know what's going on. And then at the end, I did a describe and a table again. So let's see if it works. Save it. So a few things that we did. We moved the phone after the zip. That looks okay. The number and street, the city, the state, and the zip all look okay, right? I haven't missed anything. The phone numbers were updated. I didn't have a record that didn't have that author fields, author ID, so I'm okay. The author name, the author last name, first name, AU ID, AU, their names have been changed, and their types have been changed. So what did I do? I started with the first one. So you can compare this, and that's what I will do. When I give you an alter, I'll compare your initial table and your final table structure. I'll know if changes were done. That's the easiest way to see it, right? This was the data before, and this is the data after. If the 4 results are available to me, I don't have to kind of look through the script. You know what I mean? Like if it is running and you've done the job, you've done it. Okay, so that's altering in everything, like everything. Modify, change, add, drop. I think we did everything in it. And split again. Again, split is something that can take time. So don't worry about it. Like it does take time. It took me around 10-15 minutes to figure it out because I was trying many more. And then I said, let it go. Let's stay with the easiest.
So
yes.
The same for splitting using the substring, the same way of doing it can be used for any amount of.
Yeah, it's just more tedious. It becomes more tedious, but it's not so tough logically. I mean, if I want to get something on the rightmost, I get till there and then I get it from the right. If I want something on the left, I get that most and I get it from the left.
So no matter how many entries belong.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So if somebody made like this whole thing but made it all one column, you could
yes.
still.
Oh yeah. Any number of fields, yeah. As long as you know what's my delimiting character in between. You have to know that. Where do I split? right? Where do I split? Or the other option will be that has to be given to you is the first 10 characters is this, the next 10 is this, which is much easier. Use the substring function from first to 10, 11 to 20, whatever. That's more easy, right? So again, whatever makes sense to you at that point of time. There is no rule. If it try to keep it least the minimum number of functions, right? With index and all that, it was taking more. I tried it. So I thought, you know what, maybe this is what I'll give my students because it seems the most straightforward. But again, what is straightforward to me may not be straightforward to you. So I leave it to you, right? We've done quite a bit of string functions. We've done it left, mid, string, substring index, trims, left trims, right trims, upper, lower, length. There's so many, whatever you want to use. So you have to be aware of string functions. You don't have to memorize them, but just the list is available to you in an exam or in an assignment. You see what works for me, like you do with Java, right? You have to know that the class exists and and you look up a method in it. And then you click on it and you see, oh, this is the description of the method. This is how I use it. Same kind of concept. You have to know how to use the library. Even here, even in the college, if you have to know, like Google, you have to know what you're looking for before you can look for it, right? It's exactly the same thing. And that's what is important. You should know what you're doing. So that takes care of alter statements, whatever I wanted to do, right? So remember, the function, I also used concat, if I remember, to take the initials of the first name. So it's not that you will only have splitting. You may have concating also. I may say, oh, you have the first name and the last name. Show me the initials of the person. So you concat, you take the first letter of the first name, the first letter of the last name, concat it together. That become the initials of the person. So again, anything from the string functions. Okay, so that's alter statements in its eternity as far as I have to do it. If you find something else, sure. Okay, I mean, you only have to see how it works. So this will go back on Blackboard for you. So if you haven't copied it, which was just too much typing, take it afterwards. I'll put it on Blackboard during the break or before I leave, right? So again, just to mention that I used a case statement in update. You can use 8 independent or 7 independent case statements if you like. It's up to you, whatever makes sense, unless it's specifically asked. In an exam, I ask things specifically because I want to test you on specific things. But otherwise, it's up to you. This is more compact if you look at it. I find it more compact, but it's up to you, whatever makes sense. Okay, so let's go one step further now. So next, so I'll give you time at the end of the class. I'll give you 1 hour to do your in class today. It will be more than enough. It's a small alter statement assignment. Okay, so that will take care of alter. So every time we finish something, you are doing an assignment on it. Okay, so that way at least you're reiterating what's going on, and that's how it will go. Maybe towards the end I'll have to let you give take home because those are bigger assignments, but till now we have been able to manage it in class, though you always submit it by midnight. Okay, so now open up from your week 9, your 8-9, please open up the cookie sales. So we are now going to work on more advanced select statements, right? We've done select before. We've done quite a bit of it, right? You've done limit, and you've done order by, you've done ands, ors, in, not in, everything. Like you've done quite a bit, but we still have more. We will learn about some inbuilt functions, and we will also do more advanced select statements in terms of group by, for example, having. So more in select. Okay, so that's what I would like to cover today. So this database is storing, it's about Girl Scouts, and it is storing information about Girl Scouts, where how many cookies that I'm not sure whether you're aware of it, but these Girl Scouts, my daughter used to attend one long back. They have every year they have to sell some cookie boxes, right? So they kind of go from house to house selling them. So this is about that. So if you notice again, I said to create a database with a table therein that stores sales made by Girl Scouts. More than enough. However you word it, doesn't matter, right? So now that's not complete yet. It's not yet complete. It's not what only my script is doing. We have to learn some advanced select statements. So now that's the purpose of my script. When you are doing an assignment, you won't say to learn. You will say use advanced select statements to query data. right? You know what I mean? To learn advanced to query data. So I'm doing a learn, but definitely when you do something, you won't say learning, you will say using advanced select, or you're using select statement, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. But you have to give me a complete purpose and use some inbuilt functions in MySQL. So as long as the purpose is complete, you have your marks, and then document each and every section of it. So again, I'm not doing it now. I'm kind of leaving it to you. You have an idea now. So each one just says kind of one section. I need just one. So something like this, right? That's what I mean by saying a section. You can do every line if you like. It's up to you. I don't think you would like to do it. So I say just each section. So when I say commenting, it's not only, I say including name, date, and purpose, and then document every section. So that's all I'm expecting. A line for each kind of section. Yes.
For drop table and create table, would we lose marks if we just commented drop table, create table, and insert values into the table?
No, you can do the section together.
That's
Yeah, that will do. No big deal. No big deal. You can say drop table if it exists, create a new one, and populate it with data. Yep, it's just a section, right? It's just a section. Whatever works for you. As long as I can see commenting for every statement, whether you do it every statement or you do it together, I'm okay. Right? The aim is that you do it. That's the aim. So if I say it's not necessary, I'm sure nobody will do it. That's what happens. And that's not what I want you to do. As programmers, you have to comment your code. So one line will do. You can do it together. Drop existing table, whatever, create a new one, and populate it with data. Now, if your insert statements are a little different, or I've said show this insert statement to do this insert, then you can comment each one, because that's the requirements. Otherwise, no big deal. There, one job done, insert. How long does it take? Not even 5 minutes, I think. Okay, so we know about the drop, create, and use. We know about drop, create, and insert. Look at my table, see if it is in the first normal form. That's what we've learned till date. We've said every table will be in the first normal form. If not, we will alter it. We know how to alter it now. Okay, so I have a field called ID, which I've put in all caps here, just because ID is a short form, right? But there is no rule at all. You can use ID in small ID, and that's what we've been doing. I don't know, I think a student asked me, and I said, yeah, it doesn't matter because it's a short form. You can do it this way. I usually don't. I keep my rules, my norms or my conventions the same. I go with the small ID, but you can just kind of, because it's an abbreviation, right? So it's an int, it is not null, it is auto increment, and it is a primary key. So I have a primary key in my table. You could have written the word primary key right here itself. I just choose to do it separately. I have a first name, atomic in nature. I have sales, a field, atomic in nature, and I have a sale date, atomic in nature. So my table is in first normal form. I don't see any repeating groups. I don't say sale date 1, sale date 2, sale date 3. I'm not doing it. There are no repeating groups of data in my code, right? So the table must have a primary key, and every field must be atomic in nature. And a corollary of it, a kind of a bypoint of it is there are no repeating fields of the same type. When I say same type, don't think, oh, can't I have 2 dates? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying of the repeating fields of the same kind. That's what I'm stressing. Okay, so we are talking about a field, same data, but just in more than one field. So my table is in the first normal form. So we are okay. So we can go ahead, right? So we can start looking at queries. The insert statement, because I think I copied it from somewhere, I have used the insert that they had. You can go values if you like. You can have one insert statement and say whatever, and values you may not have a list here itself. This was copying and pasting from somewhere, so I didn't bother to change anything. I could have done without the ID field. It's an auto increment field. I could have done without it. So there are various ways of doing things. As long as it is correct, you get your marks, right? So I would leave the ID field alone. If I've said it is an auto increment field, why will I bother with it? But as I said, this was copied from somewhere, right? I just took data from somewhere, so I didn't bother to change it. So I said, okay, let's see if everything is working till this point of time. So give it a run, and the data should be available to you. So at till here, everything looks okay, right? Okay, now let's do the rest. So I'll just save this as so that I can keep the previous copy. Okay, and we'll move forward. You may know some just because I think I may have mentioned it in my previous ones, but we'll do it quickly. Okay, show all the information sorted by first name. We've done this. We've done the order by statement, right? So all you have to do is select from. So we'll do a copy. You can remove this now just because it's done. And all we have to say is order by first name. So you've seen this before. What was it? First name. Underscore. Thank you. Simple. You've seen the order by statement before. Sort on more than one fields. Keep in mind, this is not only SQL. You can sort on any number of fields in any language. What it simply means this, the first key that you mentioned becomes the major key, right? So for example, let's take an example. You guys are enrolled in some courses, right? So you can say, okay, now enroll, give me by, first give, I could do this. We have COPA, COPER, CST, and so many. I could first say all COPAs together, all COPERs together, all CSTNs together. So I'll say sort by the program name, right? Inside the program name, then I can say sort by course name. So I'll have all my intro to Java, intro to whatever together. Then inside it, I can say now sort by the name of the student or the student ID. So you can have as many number of fields as you want in sorting. You only have to see how it works. So the first field becomes the major. That's how it will be sorted first. And then within that by the second, within that by the third, and so on. So here it says sort on more than one fields, first name ascending and sale date descending. And you don't have to write what is default, but we'll just do it. Okay, so first name ascending, right? And sale date descending. That's how you do it. Okay, that's how you do it. So when you have more than one fields, all you do is you separate them by commas. Once you have separated them by commas, you can mention the word ascending and descending with it. Ascending is default, so you don't have to mention it. But again, some people prefer to kind of write everything in the sense and it doesn't confuse anybody. So it's up to you. So this can be avoided. You can remove this ASC if you like. But again, up to you. So let's see the last two select statements. Let's run that. So let's look at the results. So let's do one at a time and see the results. Then we don't have to bother. So this was the first one. So here, these are by first name, right? And then now these inside the first name, they are by date. Descending, see, you're going 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. That's how it works. So the first field is what it will be. So you can kind of look at it. So it will be, you'll have to first see, has it been sorted on first name? Yes, it has been sorted on first name. Within first name now, it should be sorted by date in a descending order. And that's what it is. Change anything and see it will work, right? So that's ascending and descending. So with everyone, we'll just look at the last one. Okay, let's look at show total sales. Show the total sales of the girls or whatever. Okay, so let's see. The total sales, there is a function called total. I'm sure it's called sum. Give me a minute. I'm almost positive that's what it is called, sum. So let's try that. Anyway, so let's try. Now, where was it? Okay, total sales. I'll kind of put it on a different line because I want to show total sales now. Okay, and the field was called sales. Okay, so let's do the sum function. Right, let's do the sales. Remember I said, let me show it to you, then we'll see. And I'm saying ordering by first name. But you will say, what will that do? Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Let's run it. It sums up the sale of everybody. That's what you told it to do. You never said anything else. You didn't say to show me the total sales by the person. How much did Ashley make, or whatever were the names of the girls? How many did this girl make? You never said that. So if you don't say anything, that's what you are expecting. But if the question was different, then we'll have to work differently. But this is the total sales. Now notice something. Notice the heading of the column. Some sales, exactly what you have it there. What would you like to do? Give it a better name. How do you do it? Remember, all we have to say is as. You don't even have to say as, and mention the field name. So I'll do something like total sales. Now, if you want to put conditions, nothing stops you. Now, this statement is kind of redundant here. This statement is redundant here. Why? Because what are you doing by ordering by? It is one value. So order by doesn't make sense. Please remove it. If it doesn't make sense, remove it. I'll tell you how to show sales by per girl, but for now we'll just do this, just the total sales. You can add conditions. So let's say you wanted to say something like we'll put a where condition. Can I say? Oh, you can choose a date. You can say a date on this day, right? You can say for girls whose name starts with C. I don't know if they start with C. Something like anything that makes sense to you, you can do it. So let's say show total sales on which date? What dates do we have? I see a 6 for sure. March 2007. Okay. Just picked up, nothing else. That's all I did. Okay, so where do you want to say? Where? Remember your date field? Date. Keep in mind, date is not text. It's just a date field. You can write it as a text, you can write it as a number, but it is a date field. So it's not text. You don't say likes, don't use likes with it. You can do an exact match where date is equal to, and you can exactly put this and it will work. But no likes, please, right? Or you can put 2007-03-06 without dashes, without quotes, and it will work. This is going to show you the total sales on March 6th. So you can change the heading a little. Is it March 6th? January, February, March. Yes.
It's sales date as well, because date is a reserved word.
Oops, it's not? Okay. Oh yeah, it is a reserved word. It's in blue. You can use reserved words. We don't use reserved words because that's what we've learned, right? In MySQL, you can use them, but we'll avoid it there. So that should show you the total sales on March 6th, right? If you wanted to show just March, then it will be different. How do you think if I wanted to show March, only March? You can't use like with it. Let's see. So total sales in March, on March 6th. Oh, unknown column sales date. Oh, it's still not called sales date. Sale date. There. There it is. Now you tell me, think about it. If I wanted to say, I think all sales were made in March, weren't they? That doesn't matter when they were made, but I think they were all March. Yeah, they're all March, but doesn't matter. You tell me the solution. What if I only wanted to show sales in March? What would I do? You can't use like, no likes in dates. It will work, but no likes in date. What do you think from your other experience in other languages? Do you think I should be able to extract the month out of a date? I should be, right? It's a date field. There should be some date functions, right? So what do? Look for date functions in MySQL. So let's look for date functions. There has to be one. It's called month actually. Okay, so I'm looking for something like month. There it is. Return the month from the date past. That's all I have to do. Select the month. If the month is equal to 3, sum it up. Right? So let's try. So let's say show sales on this. Now this is very specific, which is okay. Let's say in March. I know they're all in March. Don't worry about it. We don't know anything. We're not peeking in the data, right? I've asked you for March. You do it for March. Okay, let's do in March. Change the heading. What do I do now? All I have to do is I have to extract the month from the sale date. Okay, so extract it. Use the month function on the sale date. And what should it be equal to? Okay, job done. Basically, this will give you the same answer as total sales. They were all done in March. They were all done in March. So let's try. So we'll look at the answer. 383.25 is what we are getting in March, the total sales. It will be the same thing. I just put this on a different line. You don't have to like, it's just a terminator. So if you just put a semicolon, it's nothing. So there's no syntax error in it. Try that. So it was 383.25. There it is. You will get the same answer just in this case, right? Not always. Just because all sales were made in March. Try it in January and you'll get a 0. Right? Try it in January and you'll get a 0. So if you can extract the month of a date, for sure you can extract an year of a date. Sure you can extract the day of a day. I'm sure you can even check if it is a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Things like this can also be checked. The date functions. That's all there is. Right? So again, if you know one, you should know all. Right? You're programmers. I mean, I don't have to tell you each and everything. The concept must be there. You should be able to apply that concept. That's applying your knowledge. Okay, so I give you something and I've said month. Tomorrow, if I ask you year, you should be able to do it. If I ask you day, you should be able to do it. So this was just a few examples of sum. Now it says total sales by each Girl Scout. Logically, what do I want? Think about it. What do I want? In English, let's think it like we were doing logically, nothing to do with programming. You have to add up everything for Ashley, everything for Nicole, and so on. I remember 2 names, right? There was Ashley, there is Nicole, there is Brittany, there is Lindsay, and those are the 4 girls we have. That's what you have to do. So kind of, if I say I have to group them up by their names. That's what you have to do. So group up all Ashleys, all Brittany's, all Lindsay's, and all Nicole's together. So if I could use something like group by, my job is done. So let's try. Okay, so I want to do the sales, the sum of the sales, right? And I want to do it by each Girl Scout. Oops, so we'll remove this comment. That's not what we want to do. So sum, we know sum now. Now, second, we also want to show the name of these two, of the girl. Okay, so the name was first name. And I'll just say as, and again, you don't have to mention the word as. If you have more than 1 words, you have to put them in quotes. If you have a single word, you don't even have to put it in quotes. So if I only wanted to say name, I didn't even have to put it in quotes. I'm not sure if you know it, but let me show you different things. There, you can just say, name is a reserved word, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. Right? So you can even say this. So now the heading of the column will be name. You don't have to put it in single quotes if there is only 1 word, just for your information. Unfortunately, name is a reserved word. That's why it's coming in blue. Now, what do we have to do? So we need 2 fields. We need 2 fields, right? The 2 fields are the name of the person and the sales she's made. You can always say this. You can always put a $sign here, like this. So that you're giving information that the sales is in dollars, right? It could be anything else. So you can even do this. You can do it in every statement. Now, all we have to do is we have to tell the system that you want to group it by name. So is there something available? Fortunately, there is. It's as simple as what we are saying, group by. How do you want to group it by? There, done. Job is done. I told the system to group by names. It will exactly do this. It will first, this is how it works. So it doesn't work this way. It works the opposite way, down, bottom to up. So the first job it will be, don't know how the engine works, but logically, I'm telling you how it works, right? So it will first form groups of names. So all Ashleys together, all Britneys, or Nichols, and all Lindsays together. And now it will sum up, sum up, sum up, sum up. What are you trying to sum? What are you trying to say sum? The sales. Doesn't matter. There's no other field which makes sense to sum. You don't sum date fields. You don't sum any other fields. You don't sum IDs, though it's a numeric field, but so the logical field to sum is the sale. This will show you the name of the girl, and this will show you the sales made by that girl. So let's try. Neat. So notice the heading, the name heading. So if it is only a single word heading that you want to give, you don't have to put it in quotes. This will come handy somewhere else. So I'm kind of stressing it out. I can order by a calculated field afterwards. So if I have to order by a calculated field and it has a name, there is a rule that it is to be single word to use it. So that's why I'm just telling you. There. This should sum up to 383 or whatever we had. I'm hoping it is right. Right? Job done? Okay, let's look at the next one. Any questions? Stop and ask, please. Okay, so we've looked at the sum function. We've looked at the group by. So we've seen two things. We've already done order by on a single field. We've done order by on more than one field. We've seen ascending and descending. The maximum sale. Now, so we had the other one. That was much easier. Oops, wrong one. Okay, doesn't matter. So there is a function. I haven't asked anything else. I could have said something else, but I'll show you how it doesn't seem as easy. So nowheres. It's a value. It's just a single value. Maximum of any table is a single value. It's just one value. Like sum is a value, max is a value. We can use it in different forms, but for now, this is just a single value. That will give you the maximum sale. So let's run it. It says 43.21. Let's look at the data. 43.21. I'm just trying to show you something. That's why I'm seeing where it is. Oh, I don't see it. There has to be. Which record is it?
Number 7.
Number 7, thank you. Okay, so number 7. What's the girl's name? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Brittany, right? Can I do this? Can I say, so the maximum sale is right. That is the right answer. I don't see anything else more than 43.21. But can I do this? Brittany. Just for the, just to show you. And see, does Brittany come up? Logically. Like it's just giving you the maximum sale. Let's see if Brittany comes up. No. So you'll say, what's that? It just picked up the first name of the first record. It can make that association. I'm not saying max of this and the corresponding name. I'm not saying that. If it was that easy, then my job is done. So we'll have to do a little more manipulation for it. We'll come to that manipulation in maybe 5-10 minutes when you've done more of it and you can think more. But that won't work. That's not the right answer. Because Lindsay is just the name that it picked up from the first record. It did make a connection between the name and the max. It cannot. You just said, give me the max value. It gave you the max value. Comma, give me the first name. It just picked up the first name from the first record. Right? So it can make that association and it will not work. It will not work. So you can say this will not work. Oops. We'll do it. We'll do how to do it. But this won't work. We'll see how it does. If there is a max, is there a min? Sure, there is a min. If there is a min, is there an average? Yes, there is an average. So just replace the names of the functions, okay? So the min is called the min. Please change it to minimum. Of course, you don't want to say maximum as the answer and show the minimum. Oops. And of course, we can remove this. You don't have to have this in everything. This was just to show you. And this is called average, AVG. And they're all single fields, one value fields. They're all one value fields. Okay, so you've seen max, you've seen sum, max, min, average, all single values. Okay, let's look at the next one. Number of sales made, count will not count well values. So it only is asking for how many sales were made. Not the amount, nothing. How many sales were made? So there is a count function. Let's try. Number of sales that were made. The function is count. And we'll kind of put them together, okay? Let's look at them and then use them together. That's number of sales made. How many sales were made? Oh, have I missed? Would be something else. No, there is something.
You forgot a bracket after count.
Oh, thank you. I should pay attention. When it says there is a red, I must say, okay, no, I think, oh, no, nothing, I haven't made a mistake. That's counting how many, right? Number of total sales greater than 0. No big deal. Copy again and add a condition. What should be your condition? Sales greater than 0. So where sales is greater than 0. As simple as that. Maybe a girl didn't make any sales. There is a 0 value in the sales field. It's quite logical. She didn't do any sales on. So maybe you are storing for every day we are storing the number of sales and no sales were made. Number of days no sales were made. No sales were made. How many no sales? I'm not sure. I don't think we have any 0.
There's 3.
Oh, there are 3? Okay, thank you. There are 3 with sales 0. So if this is right, that means the sales greater than 0 must be right. Right? So in all, we must have, you can count the total number of records. You can do that. You can just say count on sales from table. It will give you the total number of records. The first one, right? This is just doing total number of records. So let's see if our answers are right. So that's a 3. That's a 25. That should be a 28. So total sales were 28. Greater than 0 were 25. Equal to 0 were 3. So that's right. That means the answers are right. So if you wanted to count the number of records in a table, you will just say count on any numeric field. I think on any field, doesn't matter. This is not the sum function. Count will count on any field. So if you wanted to find the total number of records in a table, you can use the count function. Logical, right? Okay, let's look at the next one. Anything that's not clear, please stop and ask. I'm assuming if you're not asking, you're okay. Now here is maximum sale by each Girl Scout ordered by the maximum sale. So I want to find out the maximum sale done by each girl. Till now we said maximum sale, the total. Remember we said what was the maximum in the whole thing. Now I want to do this. Maximum by Ashley, maximum by Brittany, maximum by Nicole, and maximum by whoever is Lindsay. So maximum of each girl. So definitely I need the first name. And I need the maximum. And again, I want to do what? Group by. Right? I want to do group by. So I am saying look for the maximum in the Ashley group, in Nicole's group, in Brittany's group, and in Lindsay's group. Same thing. Okay, let's try. Okay, so let's write it. So you want to select the maximum of the sale. And we'll say, and also show the first name of the girl. Again, you can do an as if you like. You may put a quote, you may not put a quote. Single names don't need them. And now from the table, and to tell it that this is not one single maximum. Now if you leave it here, it's just one value, and it will just pick up the name of the first record, what it did in what we were trying to do, remember? But now if I say group by, and we'll try to find out who did the maximum sale in a minute, one by one. Okay, group by the first name. This is going to show you the name of the girl and the maximum sale she made, because that's what you've said. You've said group it by. So see the use of group by? Group by just says put them together.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, right? So I'm saying group it by first name. So show the name and the sale of the girls and group them by first name. Let's try it. Code unknown column sales. Anything else? No. Okay, let's give it a try again. Neat. We already know Brittany made 43.21. Remember, we checked that. So we are hoping it is right. Now, logically, you tell me and I'll write it for you. And did I say, oh, it didn't say any, oh, ordered by maximum sales. Forgot my order statement. No big deal. Order by first name. No, order by, oh, here. This is where. How will you call this field now? I'll say order by whom? This is a calculated field, right? It doesn't have a name. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have a name. I mean, in the table, it doesn't have a name. So there are a couple of ways of doing it. You can say order by to, because it's a calculated field. So this is, what is this to? To is the position of the field on which you are ordering in the select clause. You can use it even if you wanted to do it by first name, you could have said order by one. But here is the position of the field in the select clause, and why we had to use it, because it was a calculated field. So I can still say order by one here. This will work. I mean, it was doing it that way, but we can still do it. So there it is, Ashley, Brittany, Lindsay, and Nicole. If I say to, it's the position of the field in the select clause. Okay, so to means now by max sales. So Brittany should come first, or like, and the rest afterwards. By default, ascending. By default, the order is ascending. So it is coming 26, 31, 32, 43. It is ascending by max sale. It is working. If I said descending, now Brittany will come first. There, it is working. Right, so this is how you change it. So if I say descending, you can say descending here, so because we've changed it. Normal English spelling descending. That's how you use it. There is another option. Yes. The number 2 is the position of this field in the select clause. Field number 1, field number 2.
If we have cheap field, so we can put number 3. Right?
Yeah, anything. It's the position of the field. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, how many number of fields. It's the position of the field. There is another option. I'll show you what the option is. If I had just called it, like it's kind of an odd one, I can't think of a, let's only call it sale, like one word, okay? It's a single word name. You see, it's a single word name for sale. Then I can say order by sale. Then I can do this, as long as, of course, it doesn't kind of clash with the name in the table. I have to be careful about that. This should work also, if I remember correctly. MySQL could be, no, works, right? So I can do it in a double field. Like, let me change it for you just to show you. I can do this if I remember correctly. If I can, then of course it's making my life. I don't have to think of single names, but I think this doesn't work. No, see, this doesn't work. It hasn't sorted it. It's not a syntax error, but it hasn't sorted it. So this, you can use single word names. Instead of two, you can use the word sale here. I'm not sure will it work with quotes, though it doesn't matter, I think. No, it's not even working with quotes. It has to be without quotes. That's why I think it has to be single name. Now I should get the right answer. Brittany and so on. Yep, there it is. And you can't put quotes, no quotes. So make a point for yourself. I didn't need quotes here also. You know that, right? I don't need to. I can, but I don't need to. You can use no quotes and use name. And use sale. The name of the field. But I just remember that there was a restriction. The restriction is they have to be single names. So whatever makes sense to you. The two is not so tough because the select list is right there. You don't have to you're not looking elsewhere. You're looking right here. So here is your query and you're looking right here, second field. So it's not so bad. Like otherwise numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 are magic numbers. What do they mean? But since the select statement and the order by are right there together, it's okay. So you can use a number here. All you have to do is the position of the field. So now this is giving the maximum sales of the girls by their descending. I did descending so that I can show you. Now, if you wanted to find who made the maximum sale, what would you do? You have this table. If I wanted to show which girl made the maximum sale, what should I add to my select clause and it will only show me one record? Do you remember? Limit 1 and it will only show me the first record. But there is a problem. What if Brittany and Lindsay both made 43.21? I don't know. Like, I don't know if only one girl made the maximum sale or if two made the maximum sale or if three girls made. I have no clue. I can say limit 1, assuming that the topmost, I'm not assuming, it is in descending order. So the first record is the maximum value. But does it say that she is the only one who made the maximum sale? Not necessarily. So that's not foolproof. I just can't say limit 1 to show the first, to show who made the maximum sale. So you can put it for, I'm sure we'll do it somewhere further, but this will come handy. So this is maximum sale by each girl ordered by the sale. That's what I've shown in descending order. If you needed ascending, then you won't have to put the word DES. Just leave it and it will show it in ascending order. Like it's just an order. So we'll come to it. So now if my question was who made the maximum sale, I could say whatever, and at the end say limit 1. And that would only show me Brittany's record, which is the right answer. But what if by chance Lindsay also had the same figure, 43.21? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I'm making an assumption. So that wouldn't be the right answer. So we'll talk about the right answer afterwards. Okay, average sale by each Girl Scout order by first name. Now this is not so tough. All you have to do is copy and instead of max use average. So the average sales by each girl. Oh, so we'll change this name. Okay, just because. And we said by order by first name. So here you can say 1 for your information. But if it is a field name, first name, prefer to use the column. It just makes it more easy to read. Right? But you can do this. There is nothing wrong in it. It didn't say anything. If it doesn't say anything, we just assume it is ascending. There it is. Ashley, Brittany, Lindsay. So that's the average sale. Now you'll say kind of untidy. Can I just show 2 places of decimal? You can even do that actually. There is a cast function and you can cast your average sale with only 2 places after decimal. I'll show it to you. Maybe I have it in my notes, but we can do it right here also. No big deal. So notice, just for your information, that's what the average sale is. There are 6 places after decimal by default. You can change it to show only 2. And this is all displaying, right? We are only displaying. Select is only displaying. I'm not saving it anywhere. This is just temporary display. But you can cast it. You can cast the average sales as a decimal. We'll do it in the grade center. Just because there are two queries there, we can pay more attention there. So you can say order by one, or definitely we've done this. You can always say order by first name. So you can say order by one also, whatever, I don't know. Preferably if it is a column name, use it. Because names make always more sense than numbers. We know that. Okay, they make more sense than numbers. Okay, let's try the next one. Number of days that each girl made a sale. So how many days did each girl make a sale? Remember we had 3 zeros. So those, I don't know if they belong to the same girl or different girls or whatever. In that case, we have to do it. So what are we counting?
Sales.
Sales for each girl, but grouping them by names. So let's see how we put them together. Okay, so let's put it. So where were we? Number of days that each girl made a sale. Okay, so yeah, so select. Okay, so let's select the first name as scout name or whatever, or girl name or whatever. Oh, single quotes, sorry, not double quotes. I think double don't work in a name. Okay, so what do we want to do? Number of days that she made the sale. So when I say number of days, I have to count them, right? So let's use the count function. On what? Sales. Because that's how we'll count, right? Bless you. Let's say as. Number of sales days were sale days?
I put days with sales.
Days. What did you put?
Days with sales.
Okay, good. Days with sales. Okay. Makes sense. Like whatever makes sense, as long as it does make sense. Okay, now what? Of course, from.
Select your table.
Yeah, select your table. Group by this and anything else?
You have to go where?
Where? Why? Yeah. What do we want to do? Days with sales. That means sales has to be greater than 0, right? Okay, so now where do I put the where?
Before group by.
Why? Because the condition is with the, okay, so where, what is the name of the field? Sales is greater than 0. In a minute, we'll do something else, okay? But for here, it is okay. There's another one, having, something is having, is missing. One more to go. So let's look at it. So where is always with the from, okay? Where is always with from. So you are saying select the first name and the days the girls made the sale. So each girl, whenever there is an each girl, there is a group by, okay? So group by is there. But now only how many sales did she make? We have to check that the sales value should be greater than 0. And we had 3 with zeros. So now these 3 could be 3 different girls. Same girl, I have no clue. I think there were 3 different girls. I think we have a set. No, we have a, I don't know. I think we have a 766. Okay, let's try. Oh, just because it was highlighted. We haven't ordered it by anything. So those were the 3 girls with 0 sales. So in total, we had 28 records, right? 6 3s are 18 and 7. 7 4s are 28 is what we had. There were 3 different girls with 0 0 0. Now, if you wanted to put it order by, all you have to do is add an order by clause, okay? And it's no big deal. You just put an order by afterward. Number of days that each made a sale and add it to your comments. Order by name. So all you have to do is order by. So you can combine whatever you've learned. Okay. And remember, whatever we are doing in this having, whatever we are doing in this where and groupings will all work with anything else where you need to use conditions. Order by first name. Okay. So order by first name will just give you by first name. That's the difference. There, Ashley, Brittany, Lindsay, and Nicole. Remember, by default, it is ascending. Okay, name of the girl and the number of days she made a sale. Oh, so what's the difference between number of days that each girl? Oh, this was just number of days and this is name of the girl and the number of days. Oops, same thing. Like this one without the name doesn't make a sense, right? So let's keep the number of days that each order by name. So we'll remove this. Maybe I was just trying to show you the count function first. No big deal. Makes no sense to just show count values with no names of the girls. Okay, now the distinct. Another function, distinct. As its name suggests, unique. Okay. So if I want to find out the unique days, so let me see what I did with unique, because I can't remember a good example. You have to have something that will make sense, right? Unique. Okay. Use of distincts, the sale dates, and we can order by if we like. Doesn't really matter. The ordering is just practice now. If I want to find out from all my records, I don't know how many records I have, trillions and trillions of records. I just want to find out the distinct sale dates, right? This is all I do. Select from, and of course we'll have to change. Distinct sales dates. Here is the word. Here is the function, distinct. I think name would be good. Sale date, is the field called sale date? Yes. What do we say? Distinct dates, or just dates on dates of sales? Right? And that's it. No where condition. Oh, order by. Okay, order by 1. Right, order by 1. Again, because it's a calculated field, kind of. It is a calculated field. Can I use, do you think, can I use, yeah, I can use sale date also, because distinct is just saying unique. It's still a sale date. I don't have to say 1, I can still say sale date. So use names wherever it makes more sense. So you can say by 1 also, there is only one field, but distinct just means unique. So I can still use sale date. Okay, let's try. So one girl made all sales. So we should see 7 dates, right? We should see 7 dates. And anyway, I mean, even if they made 0 sales, we haven't put a condition. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we did an order by ascending. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're all March dates. Works, right? So that's the distinct function. You can use it anywhere where you want to do a distinct count or whatever. But distinct just means unique. Okay? Number of days sales were made. How many times will we do that? Number of days sales were made. Count. We've already done it. Did I mean something else? Oh, number of distinct days sales were made, but it's the same thing. I mean, just showing you the count and this. I'm thinking I've already done it. Okay, so we've done the count somewhere here. So we'll kind of use it and then I'll change it. Okay. We'll still have the answer of 7. Okay, now what do we want to do? Number of distinct days sales were made. The count will anyway do it. Give me a minute. Let me think. Distinct days sales were made. Do I have to do a count of distinct sale dates where sales days were made then 0? I think so. Okay, let's try. Name. No, name won't matter now. Nope, name, we don't need the name now. It's not a field that makes sense. Okay, let's think for a minute. Just days, right? Okay, so count, distinct. The distinct can go in caps. Number of distinct sales days were made. That's it, right? No condition, nothing. What heading do we give? Same thing, but maybe with non-zero sales or something, right? Were there dates? Here we are just saying days. Oh, okay. We'll have to say not dates. We are just doing a count. Kind of odd, but what do you say? I mean, you have to think of a... So this is kind of number, right? number of days sales were made. With sales, we had used with before. Okay, there. Does the heading make sense? Kind of. Number of days with sales. Okay, where sales is greater than 0. 7. 25. Where are we going wrong? Distinct sales. Oh, not sales, sorry. Sale dates. That's why 25. All dates, all sales were distinct. They were all different. That's why 25. Sale dates have to be distinct, and then we have to say number of, now therefore number of days or number of dates. Oh well, I can't decide what to say. Number of dates could also do. Yeah, the first answer was right because we said distinct sales. Each sale was distinct. It said there were 25 of it and it counted it. So the logic was wrong. The answer is right. So if we want to the number of distinct days sales were made, now we should have 7. Number of days is kind of looking wrong, right? I don't know. Okay, let's try. 7 should be the answer. There it is. Remember, there was one girl with 7 and then the rest were 6, 6, and 6. So if we are going to say distinct sale date, it has to be 7. Right? It has to be 7. Okay, which girl sold cookies on maximum number of days? Okay, here is the question. Which girl with the maximum number of days? That means who was the girl with maximum days? I think Brittany had 7 days, right? Now here is what we have to do. I mean, we could have done it in the previous question also, but now you're ready. Now think about it. So one solution, which is of course not the right solution, is using limit. So I'll do it, but it's not the right answer. So I have to do a little more than what you've learned in this here, but I mean, it's better to do it foolproof way. But it's not the right answer because you can say since more than one girls, but is not the foolproof way. It is the right answer in our case. In our case, it is the right answer. Since more than one girl can be selling on the maximum number of days. This is possible. There's nothing like, it's just logical, right? So we'll take the same one that you just wrote. Can we show the girl's name also here? No. Okay, so the girl who sold, oh, we'll have to write it again. Okay, let's do it. Select the first name of the girl. And again, we'll just do an as, or you can just say name, whatever works for you. And now, grouping will have to be done because we are saying how many for each group, right? Okay. Give me a minute. Counting. Okay, so let's count. What are we counting? The sale date, not the sale. What was it? Sales or sale? Sale. Okay, that's what we are counting. Okay, so definitely we want to say as something. And what do we want to say? Number of days? Number of sale days. Okay, that makes a little more sense. There. Okay, what do we want to do? So we are showing the first name of the girl and the number of days she made sales. Okay, and then we want to show which girl sold cookies on maximum number of days. So when I say greater than 0, sold is greater than 0. Okay, we have to keep that. Okay, so let's write from but each girl. So group by and the name, first name. Okay, so that's showing you one by one. We'll do one by one. That's showing you 155 only. No, not 155. This is just showing you the name of the girl and the days she made sales on. We've done this before, somewhere before, right? At that point of time, I said we won't do it right now. Let's try this. So 7666. In whatever order, we haven't given an order. Okay, so 7666. Now, To put it in and so that the maximum comes first, we'll do an order by. And let's do an order by first name. Okay, so Lindsay comes at the top now. One more to show. I have to show you having. There. Forgot order by. Order by, not first name, sorry. Order by 2. And descending. There. Order by 2 and then descending. 7 will come at the top. Okay, we have the answer now. If I now say limit 1, it will show me the first record and I have my answer. Right? But if Lindsay, I change one of her records from 0 to the same value that, I mean, not even the same value. I change the 0 to non-zero and the answer is wrong. So right now it is fine for us. How do you do the limit? Remember the limit? Starting from where to where. So you can simply say if the default is 1, you can say 1, but that's what it is. You don't have to say limit 1, 1, but offset and how many. Oh, sorry. Offset and how many? 0 and 1. Offset and how many? So the answer will be Brittany. And we are happy. Our answer is right. But if the second person in line or the third or the fourth, if all 4 girls had the same 777 answer, my answer is wrong. Right? All girls made the maximum sale. So here it will work, but that doesn't mean, oh, it's the right answer. So let's look at the right answer. So this is something a little beyond what we've done, a little more programming, but it's not as if you won't understand it. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a local variable. Use a variable to store the value. Okay, so how do you use a variable in SQL? You say set, I'm going to assign it a value, right? The normal set statement. And variables in SQL are written with an at. They start with at. That's the rule, right? Variable names start with at. Anything that starts with at is a variable name. It's not a field name. Okay, it's a variable name. You can put your saying name starts with so that you know. So why did she start it with this? Okay, what are you going to set it to? I'll find out what the maximum value is first. That's all I'm going to do. And I can find it with this count that you've just done. So let's do it. Select, where is your distinct? Remember you did that distinct. There it is. Give me a minute. I'm just copying it because it will save me time. Okay, what am I saying? I'm saying, give me a minute. Let me complete it. What am I saying? I'm saying select the distinct sale dates. And again, the heading is not important here at all, because I'm not showing something. I just want to assign something. From the table where the sales is greater than 0, and I'm trying to get that value 7. Okay, I'm trying to get that value 7. So let's complete it. The rest remains the same. Group by. And it's not necessary that you use a field name in group by. You have to show it also. And order by. What were we ordering it by? You've all done this before. I'm just kind of writing it. Okay, let's look at what I've done. I counted the distinct sales days. For wherever sales were greater than 0, by the first name, order by descending. What goes into max value? 7. I've saved the value 7. Right? You've seen this before. I've just copied it. I'm counting the distinct sale dates by the girls and each girl. So I'm grouping it. Then I'm ordering it in descending order because I want to see the maximum at the top, and limit 1 because I only want to get 1 record because only 1 value can go here. You have to be very careful. I am only picking up 1 record and 1 field out of it because this is a variable. A variable can only save a value. I can only save a single value in it. So I pick up 1 record, the topmost. I pick up 1 value out of it. I only have 1 value, but still I have to say what I'm picking up. So now I have the value 7 stored in max value. So this query that I've written on the right hand side is exactly what you did here. Is exactly what you did here. Oh, did I forget my distinct here? Oops, sorry. We should have written distinct here also, right? What is it? Number of sale days. Number of sale days. Oh, no, this is okay because this is grouping by. Here the distinct is not important. Okay. Now I have this value. Now show the record. Now show the record. Okay, what do I do? Now show the record. Select the first name and see what I'll do. I know the value. All I have to do is compare now. Select the first name as name, comma, count. Same thing, count. Why don't I do a distinct there? Give me a minute. In the first one, what was the question? The question is number of distinct days, right? I should have done distinct days. Which girl sold cookies on, oh no, okay. So this was another one. Here I should have done distinct. Okay, fine. I'm fine. Okay. Now what do we want? Now the girl who made the maximum, the girl or the girls, doesn't matter. The girl or the girls doesn't matter. Whoever, the girl, and you can even say S, doesn't matter. It will give you all answers. The girls who made the maximum, who match this maximum value. I'll give you a break. This is the last one, okay? Promise, this is the last one. I have to do one more, but anyway, that's okay. Okay, so I have no clue. We know it's Brittany, but we'll change Lindsay's record and see if she gives the same answer, okay? Okay, so any number of answers will work. Okay, so now let's kind of complete it. Who made the sales on maximum days? Okay, so count, distinct. Okay, so what are we counting? Distinct sale date. Again, you can write it this way also if it makes more sense to you, since it is a function, whatever makes sense here. If it makes this more sense, you can even write it like this. It's a function. Maybe this will make more sense logically in the sense that how we think in other programming languages. MySQL is just not so strict. Okay, so what are we doing? Oh, we have to give it a heading 2 now. This is actually number of sales now, right? Oops, my caps lock is on. Okay, this is number of sales now. Okay, from the table doesn't change. Sales doesn't change. The group by doesn't change. The only thing that changes is this. Now, what do we have to do? So till here we were okay. We have done the same thing, nothing different. But I only want to show the who made the maximum sales, okay, now what? Think logically, now what? I have that answer 7. I have grouped my girls. I've counted the distinct days they made the sale. Anytime this value matches this value, she made the maximum sales. Do you see what I'm trying to do? I have saved the value 7 here. Same query that I've written here. There's no difference at all. But here my aim was to get the maximum value. So I got the maximum value. And here now, what do I have to do? Call maxval, right? So that call maxval is having, right? Now we have to do something so that I can use it. Can I say 2 is equal to at max value? What was it called? Max value. I'm saying this field is equal to max value. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking if I can say having 2, like I can say order by. Else, of course, what I'll have to do is I'll have to change the number of sales to something else. Let's try. If I can do this, then I don't have to bother. Otherwise, this name is not so neat. Okay, let's try. If not, then I have to think of something else. No, oh, no value. So syntactically there is nothing wrong, but logically it is not working. Okay, so let's try this. Yeah, oh, it needs a name. I wanted to use 2, but 2 isn't working here. Like it was working in order by, it's not working here. So that CT is kind of an odd name, but what do I do? I can't call it number of sales. Can I give it 2 names? I don't think so. So it works. Brittany 7. Try changing somebody as Lindsay with a 0. Try changing it. We should have 2 answers. Do you want to change it just to see? So take a 0 record. There it is 0. Nicole. I'm just changing Nicole to 10 for a minute. Third last record and running it again. Answers will change, but we are interested in the last answer. Now Nicole and Brittany, I should see. Do I see? There. So answer is right now. I changed Nicole from 0 to 10. I just changed it here. Third last record. It was a 0 here. So now these 2 girls are fine. But notice if I had the same thing with my previous one, the non-foolproof way, it was only showing Nicole because she was at the top, right? I think it is descending or whatever, but that's what it is. So that's a wrong answer, but that's a right answer. I'm showing both girls. The only thing which is a little untidy is this word CT. So can't think of, I can call it count, but that's the maximum I can call it.
You can also use underscores to use 2 words.
Oh yes, we can do that. Yeah, except that it's better than at least a single name, right? I can say number of sales with underscore. At least the name is better than CT. Yeah, but this, I mean, CT or count or whatever. Okay, we can do that. So let's try that. Yeah, that can be done. Without the quotes, you can do this. And what else can we do?
I just put sale days.
Sale dates?
Yeah.
Sale days, yeah. Okay, so, yep, you're right. Sale days will be, so better than, so you can do this, of course, without the quote. That's a single name. Oops. That's a single name. That's a single name for sure. And definitely better than the word CT or even count or even whatever, right?
So also where sales is greater than 0, is that redundant at this point? Because
Let's-
we're calling.
In this one, definitely it's needed. In this one, give me a minute, let me think. Oh yes, it is. It's not redundant because remember this counting is done on sales greater than 0. No, this is not redundant. No. Yep. This should work now. I mean, it was working before, but I mean, there it is. The answers are right now. So I wanted to show you that in the first one, this one, we were saying order by descending, limit 0, 1. Descending. Nicole will come first because I said descending. Order by 2 descending. Yep. So Nicole will come first. We were just seeing Brittany as the answer in the first one because she was the only one, but now we'll see Nicole. So that's a wrong answer and that's a right answer. So the second way is foolproof. The only thing is we had to do a little bit of programming, which I'm sure you can understand. All I did was I assigned to a variable this maximum value. So I found out the maximum value and then I only showed those girls that had the same sale days as this maximum value. So keep in mind, where is to from as having is to group. Where is to from as having is to group. Same thing. It does the same thing. Those are kind of how you word. So you use where with from and having is always used with group by. So you can say group by having count greater than 1. Things like that. So having is like a where for group by and where is a where from. We'll do more, a couple more, but we'll take a break. At the end of the day, I think I'll give you time and it always happens that I can't. Anyway, we'll do that. Whatever has to be done has to be done. Make sense now? So this is just for your information. Of course, I mean, it's not rocket science. You can understand it. So I saved the value in a local variable, and variables in SQL, MySQL start with an @ because otherwise they could be a field name. So to distinguish between the two, that's what is done. I found out the maximum value and then I matched all records wherever this count value was equal to 7. I'm saying equal to 7, but equal to whatever value. And it works. So this is done. Cookie sales is done. Take a break, guys. Try to come back by 10, please. A little 2 minutes less than what you're doing, and then we'll do one more example. Yes.
I have an error. When I'm trying to set the full make variable.
Okay, so let's see. Distinct sale date from this, where this, by this. Let's see. Order group by order.
Like, I'm pretty sure I have everything the same as you, I'm just not sure why.
Let's see.
So,
Unknown column first name. Oh, spelling is wrong somewhere. Oh, it's not in this one then. Oh, here. Group by. There it is. Yeah, there, that's. Okay, now what? Unknown column. Copy and paste, maybe from somewhere. Select first name as name. Okay, so we've got this one. Okay, so there's another one. Select. The problem is in select clause. Go up. Even I see a wrong somewhere here. There. As name. Looks like this one. No, not the average. Oh, you started with max. More up. Copy and paste. Okay, so from here. First name FIRST. Is the minimum okay? Okay, the minimum is missing. That's okay. So let's try it. Oh God. Still unknown column again. First name again.
was it just copy?
Fifth name.
Yeah. I'll get rid of all these.
Yes, Destiny had a question.
Yeah, I'm not getting any response.
The response in which one? The last one? Okay.
Yeah.
So select the first name, count these from this, where says, group by this, and then select the whole. So that means something is wrong in add max value. Okay, so add max value. Select count, it's distinct sale rates from the table, where it is group by this, order by this, and then this.
Did we change the actual table at all?
But you should still have Brittany, right?
Yeah.
I had Brittany and Nico, but still, okay, so something is not working. So that means a syntax error, add Maxwell, sale days, sale days. Group by first name. Okay, run the last three. Let me see what we have. Okay, so let's run from here to here. The select, sorry. Yeah, so how many are we? So that's count. Okay, so that's okay. So that's also okay. So something in max. Okay, let's do this. Run this, the select one. Yeah. Yeah. So that table is empty. Okay, so problem is here. So select the Maxwell, select the count of distinct sale dates from the table where sales is greater than 0. Group them by count them. Oh, that's okay, what's wrong? Something has to be wrong, right? So brackets. Let's try to put this distinct in also a bracket. Because there's so many, and then put an after one. Yeah. Okay, so now distinct sale dates, count them from this table, where the sales are greater than 0. Something is wrong right here. And you know what? It's not even changing. Yeah, it's not even changing. It's oh, we are doing this one. Oh, we are doing this one. Yeah, so that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's see. Anywhere, maybe wherever it's saying this problem, we can do a control F and replace. Okay. What is wrong here? Select the count. Order by one descending. So it's taking more than one. Something is wrong somewhere, right? Counting. Distinct sale dates and counting them. So that's one field from the table. Oh, no, there it is, group by. I thought the group by was missing.
Supposed to be grouped by first name as well, right?
Yeah, group by first name. I see mine, but I don't see anything that's wrong, right?
Call it.
It has to be something. Because syntax, yeah, something
My
is.
work, I have an error. Like this, mine is-
Logically, it looks absolutely correct.
Really?
Exactly, right? Exactly what you have is what I have. Yeah, distinct, counting them from the table where the sales are greater than 0, group them by first name and order by 1 and then take the limit.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, what?
I got it.
What happened? Oh, set. That's what the selecting is.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh,
The
I'm
very
saying,
first
yeah, it's
word.
right, it's right, the word set. Okay,
The worst runs, or there's just like a red X there randomly.
that's okay. Sometimes I have
Oh,
it.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
the thing with the program.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
So are we getting the answer? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're okay. Yeah, sometimes I have it too and I'm confused, but no, if it's running and you have the answers, we are fine. The best way sometimes to check it only for that particular query, see that you have an answer. It's not an empty table. That's the only thing you have to check.
And just so you know, I might be a little late coming back in for food.
Oh, okay.
I have an appointment at 11:30. I might just be like 5 minutes late.
Okay,
It's
okay,
just
what
getting
happened?
over from the nurses. though.
Okay, so what we were doing, okay, I get it. We were doing that throw thing, right? We have to complete that. Okay,
And
yes.
then I might be, have to back up like half an hour.
Okay, so we'll have an in class for today, sure. In Java, we have one, and you should finish it in class. We'll have enough time for this one. For this one, maybe you'll have to again take it home. Who knows? But anyway, I'll just take the attendance.
Just a bunch of appointments this week that couldn't be rescheduled.
Yeah, that's okay. Sometimes you just can't handle everything together. I'll take the attendance of today.
Did you like fall back?
I thought
When I messaged you, because
You're
you're
like,
like, shit.
no, that's dumb as for me right now. Yeah. I did wake up at 8, so. Literally.
I'm gonna be more stressed tomorrow.
I fell asleep yesterday at like 11. I got closer so long like wash and stuff. In the residence. So I woke up at like 1. I was in my clothes. So it's been like, look like a crazy person. No?
Like, well, I don't know about for this game, but for their previous games, like, it's territory lock.
Oh, shit.
Take bananas, but they're the most filling. They fill up you quickly, but I don't like them at all. Not my favorite fruit.
I love that potassium.
Yeah. But they are filling, right? So you can eat a couple or one and it kind of survives you.
They also put you to sleep. Yeah, it's actually what you're supposed to eat right before bed.
What?
Banana.
Before bed?
If you can't sleep, you eat bananas before bed.
Is it?
Potassium and helps you sleep soundly.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know it's good for the stomach to help you digest and everything.
I think years of trying to eat healthy and talking to nutritionists help in many, many ways. So you kind of just want to go, no, not anymore. It's very good. Really hot.
Yep. Previously, he said kids already said to their parents. I was talking to my 2-year-old. He said goodbye, Dad. I said, no, we say goodnight. He said, I know, but this time it's goodbye. I had to check him 50 times that night. Safe 1920. And all it has is just a picture of Bugs Bunny in front of him. I would hate to be that incredible. So he wasn't in the car. We spoke as a show.
How are your sports coming along? Your fourth next semester, right?
Actively searching.
Yeah,
What is it, 7th, 8th week, 9th week, right?
I had a phone interview with coming in and they haven't called me back yet, so. Probably gonna have to put it.
I have an interview tomorrow.
Once you have one, at least you're kind of, satisfied that things are going the right way.
A small tattoo that has a lot of energy, so I just wrote routine on the wrist. You're in the right place, you're in the right.
I'm just passing the paper around for your minutes for today for the class 6 because I don't think you'll be able to contribute. You have to go home again. Please pass on my pen and then let it come back to me.
Maybe, who knows, you can do it in half hour. I don't know. It's not tough. Okay, so let's start, right? People can join in. I told them I'll start at 10. So please open up the grade center script. Just has 2 queries in it. We'll complete it. So it was again in the week 8-9. Thank you, Caitlin. So it was again in the week 8-9 folder. Please remember to put your name on the attendance sheet for today, guys, for the in-class assignment. Okay, there's a paper coming around. Thanks, Graham. Okay, so let's look at this one now. So keep in mind, from and where go together, and group by and having go together, right? It's the same kind of concept. From and where says, what do I need to pick up? Which records do I need to pick up? Same, the conditions. And similarly, having and group by are the same concept. So you'll have to keep this in mind when you write your queries. Where is to from as having is to group by, right? So you're basically, the 2 conditions is, one is saying, what do I want to select? And the other is saying, what do I want to select? But one is talking with the from clause and one is talking with the having clause. Okay, keep that in mind. Sorry, group by clause. Okay, so let's look at it. Let's look at this one. So this is a database. Again, I'm hoping you can comment out. So to create a table in a database to store grades of students in various courses, extract data using complex select statements, right? So as long as you can give me a complete, simple, grammatically correct purpose, I'm okay. I'm not looking for exact words. I'm looking for clear, complete purpose and correct purpose. Okay, so storing grades of students and here storing information about employees are 2 different things. It's an entirely wrong purpose. Okay, so what I've done is same thing, created a database, dropped one if it exists, created one, used one, dropped the table again if it exists, created one. Look at the table. Do you notice something that's not right? I have a first name, atomic, a last name, atomic, student number, I could have called it NUMBER, never go with short forms, course, and then a grade. What is missing? It's not in the first normal form. Every field is atomic in nature, but the main thing that is missing is the primary key, right? Now, can I make first name, last name, or their combination as primary key? No, we've already discussed it. They may not be unique. The student number cannot be made the primary key in this one just because it's just marks. First name, last name, student number, course, and grade. First name, last name, student number, course, and grade. So I have records in which the student number will be same, the names will be same. You know what I mean? Like for the same person. So it's like keeping, you'll have 6 records each if you're doing 6 courses each, right? So that's not the best way of doing it, but at least they're what it is. So let me alter the table. Let me put a primary key in the table. So I've inserted. So notice how, for example, just out of the heck, so somebody doesn't have a last name, I just put blank in it, okay? So people could have the same student ID or the same name and may have the same, they're just different courses, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is this table in the first normal form? Nope, it's not. No, since there is no primary key. If questions like these are asked, this is all you have to say, depending upon what it is. Of course, you can put it like this. You'll have to put it in comments. So you could have questions like this in your script, and all you have to do is just answer them. No, since there is no primary key defined in the table. So my first job is let me add a primary key to the table. Right, to make your life a little easy, and I'll put this on Blackboard also for you guys, is what I did was, if you can kind of see things, I'm hoping it will be useful. Oh, sorry, wrong course. Where did I put it? Oh, did I put it in? I can't. Oh, there it is. I'll put it on Blackboard. Okay. Oh, did I give it to you? Maybe I did. Oh, I did give it to you. Okay, so I did give it to you. I just put it in an Excel worksheet so that things could be seen a little easily. So let's look at it, and then we'll kind of do it together. Like, look at it. So this is the question I'm asking you. So here are the records, right? Here are the records. We have some first name, last name students. We have some student numbers. We have the courses they have taken, and these are their grade. What are we interested in is finding out tutors. So tutors, only those students can be tutors who have more than 80% in more than 2 subjects, right? It's not just 80% in one subject. So 80% or more in more than 2 subjects is what it is. But anyway, so we'll come back to it in a minute. To that, it will just help you to understand what I'm doing. So what did I do? I altered the table. I added an ID field. I made it an int, auto increment, not null, primary key first. First means just place it at the first position. If you describe your table now, thank you, Nick. If you describe your table now, you will notice that ID occurs at the first position. That's what first does. If you hadn't mentioned the word first, it doesn't change anything. It is still the primary key. It is still a column of the table. It will just appear as the last field. Keep in mind, we have no clue of the sequence of columns and the sequence of rows in a table. They don't count. Let's say they don't count. So whenever we talk to a table, we don't say row number 1, row number 2, row number 3. We can give them names. When you learn how to program in your second course, you can give row numbers names, but we have no clue what they are. And similarly with column numbers. So therefore we use their names. We use first name is this, or last name is this, or whatever. And similarly, whenever we want to extract records, we don't say extract the first 10 records. We use the limit function, for example. You know what I mean? So we don't know what the order is. Keep that in mind. So the first is simply putting it at the first position. That's all it is saying. Nothing big in it at all. Nothing big. So this is what was the table before. None of the fields was null. No, I'm not. It's just what I've given its description. This was the data. I added a primary key to it, and this is the table again. So the table again, since it was an auto increment int key, it automatically put 1, 2, 3, 4 in the field, right? Okay, so till here, everything is what we've done till now. Right, so you should know, I mean, if you look at the table, if the question is asked, is the table in the first normal form or not, you see why it is not in the first normal form, and then kind of, and somebody was asking me, what is this others, or the extra is just its extra value. So the default, for example, in the first one, notice how I have a default for the last field, it will show here. But extra just means something like auto increment, which you see here. So extra is its extra properties. That's all it is. Anyway, okay, so we altered the structure of the table. So you have everything till here. We have to write the 2 queries for it. Okay, so I just described and selected the table again so that you could see that the new field got added at the first position when you look at it. And when you select data, the primary key field is automatically populated with 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, in sequence, because I said it was an auto increment field. So you may be given something like this, and then you will have to alter it. You did this in your first midterm also, actually, right? I said add a primary key or something. And if one of these fields can be chosen as the primary key, then you will just say add primary key and give the name of the field. We can do that too, but we just chose to go with an ID. Okay, now let's look at the questions. It says create the list of potential tutors by providing the first name and last name of all the students that have received 80% or higher in that have received 80% or higher in at least 2 subjects. Okay, That we are looking for those students who have more than 80% in at least two classes. At least two means two or more. So those guys can be potential tutors. Okay, so what do we need? Think about it. Look at the data. So I'll open up the Excel worksheet if it makes your life a little easier. Right? Don't look at the solution right now. Look at the data. So this is what we have. We want to pick up those students, right? We want to pick up those students in which the grades are more than 80, of course, and the same student has at least two of these. So count has to be greater than 2 or greater than equal to 2, at least 2 or greater than 1, right? So count has to be greater than 1. Okay, so how will you group, and what you are looking for is one by one. So I've written the data here. This is just the table, okay? And then where people who have greater than 80, I've extracted it. So you have to only extract those records where grade is greater than 80. Once you have grade greater than 80, you have to group them in such a way that they have, like, by student number. They're the same student. So how do you group them? You group them by student number. So this girl has done 1, and this guy has Fletcher, God knows, I don't even know. Anyway, this person has done 2 courses, and here are their marks. So one by one, let's do one by one. Think of it one by one. List of potential tutors by providing the first name and the last name. I could be concatenating them also. Let's just concatenate them so that you just see something. Select, concat, the first name. What is it called? Call the first name. Let me see. I have the and last underscore name. Okay, thank you. First name, and let's just put a blank in between, and then let's put last name. Just so that you see the concat function, nothing big, right? I can say as name or student name, whatever you like. If you know how to split, you should know how to concat also. Keep in mind, it can be either way. Okay, we want to concatenate. This was not asked, I just did it. Of course, from the table grade center. We are only interested in those students that have more than 80%. Okay, so the where condition is not so tough. The name of the field is grade. At least 80, did it say? The question said received 80 or higher. So grade equal to greater than 80. Okay, so only those students who have more than 80%.
Is it from the table grade center?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Of course, wrong one. It will say not found. Table grade center. Yes. Okay, now. So this is okay. All students who have. So one by one, do you want to see what we did? People who have more than 80. We can show the student number also, but it was only asked name. I'll just say student number so that you can see. The field was called student number. Okay, let's see. Let's run it. This is the last select we are interested. Do we have more? No. This is the last select we are interested in. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this. Is exactly what you saw in my table, but this is what we have. We have these student names. These students have more than 80 in their subjects. That's all it says. All these students have more than 80. So we are okay, right? So this was this table that I had showed you here. All students who have more than grade equal to 80. Now, if you go further, what does the question say? So these are not all tutors. These are not all tutors. 80 or higher in at least 2 classes. So at least 2 classes. And those 2 classes are just any 2 classes. So how do we group them? Student number, perfect.
And order by last name.
Order by last name, but okay, let's complete what we are doing and then we'll see where we are going wrong. Order by alphabetically by last name. Doesn't say anything about ascending or descending. Okay, so that's what it is. There is something else that is missing.
Yeah, because Vinny is still showing up.
Okay, so let's run this. All you said was group by, right? That's all you said, group by. So it kind of put them together. That's all it did. When you said group by, it just did this, group by. They put it together in one group, right? So, but is that the right answer? Look at the Excel worksheet again. Is that the right answer? No, it's not, because these students don't have an 80 in 2 or higher, right? At least one. So all we have to do is, remember I said, as where is to from, having is to group by. Add the having, we did it in the other one. What are you now having? What do you want to say? More than one subjects, more than one subject. So you have to count what? The course, and it should be greater than. Having, count, course is greater than 1. So pick up only those students that have 80% or higher in at least 2 subjects. So at the end of the day, we'll only have 1 person, right? There's only 1 person, I think, with more than 80 in 2 subjects.
There's
3?
And one of them doesn't have the last name.
Oh, okay. Right, here we are. Okay, so this guy, give me a minute. Where grade is greater than 80 are all these students, but in subjects, 2 subjects.
Yes. According to the data, there's 3. There's Ferb, Fletcher, Isabella, and.
There is Ferb Fletcher, there is Isabella.
And Bugsy.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought there was one, my mistake. Anyway, so the count, line number 62 is important. Why? Because we are saying that they have 80 or higher in at least 2 classes. You could have said greater than 1 here. You can say greater than equal to 2 here, whatever makes more sense to you. You can write it either way. Both are correct. Right? Greater than 1 means 2 or higher. Greater than equal to 2 means 2 or higher. Okay, let's try it now. So previously we weren't getting the right answer just because we had an extra guy here because of the number. Let's try it again. There it is. So these 3 students are potential tutors because they have 80 or higher in at least 2 subjects. So again, please understand, the relationship between having and group by is the same as the relationship between where and from. Conditions. So where is to from as having is to group by. Keep that in mind. So whenever you have to form a condition on the group by, you will use having. Whenever you have to form a condition on the table, you will be using where. If you can keep this in your mind, you will never go wrong. Right? So the same thing, I kind of tried my best to put it here. So of course I wrote the query first, but I mean, you don't have to look at the query. So we started with the table, picked up only those where grade were greater than 80. We grouped them by student number. Then we said wherever count course is greater than, oops, okay. Oops, did I give you the, this is the exercise. This is the solution. I'm saying, didn't I give you the solution? There it is, right? So these are people, that's what I'm saying, what's going on? There are where grade is greater than 80. Here is there, I have grouped them up, and notice, this is the person who has 1, 2, 2, and 2. So therefore we have 3 answers, right? So this guy will go out, or I don't know if Flynn is a girl or a boy name. And then where count is greater than 1, and then order by is simple, and then the select and so on, right? The only difference between my worksheet and this is I did a concatenation. I mean, I just thought I'll show it to you. That's all I did. So we will see and 1 column answer, and there I'm showing you 2 columns, which is, I'm showing the student number also, which again was just so that I could show that it works. So you can remove it. And again, keep in mind, you can use any field you like in group by. It doesn't have necessarily to be in the field list. There's no rule about that. You're just checking something. So I just did it because I was showing you, trying to relate the same answer as my worksheet. But this is what you want. The list of potential tutors by providing the first and the last name of all students that have received 80 or higher in more than 1 courses and listed alphabetically by last name. Which is kind of odd, right? Because because you can see a field, only 1 value, but that's, When you see one value and then you see listed by last name, it kind of looks odd, but that's okay. I mean, you don't have to do it. This was just showing it to you. It looks odd if you are doing a order by only on one field, and then what do you know? You don't know which is the last name and which is the first name. And again, you can give them aliases here. I'll kind of make it a point just to do it so that you don't forget in the final exam. I think because we had only done it a couple of times, many of you didn't recollect it. But now maybe we can do it every time so that you can recollect it. That takes care of it. Right? So keep in mind, count having is to, group as, where is to, from. Okay, now let's do the second one. This is the casting that I was also talking about. We'll do it together. Okay, let's look at it. Find the average mark of this is easy. Average mark of each student rounded to 1 decimal place. I think here the main aim is showing you casting. Okay, so for each student, so we'll have to group by student numbers. We have to, there is no other way. I mean, we won't do it by names again because names can be same. You know what I mean? Like two students with two different student numbers can have the same name. So we'll leave that alone. We know that student number is unique, not for the table, but it is unique for each student. Okay. So we'll group them by student numbers. We'll take the average, show the name of the student, show his or average, and show it in 1 decimal place. Okay. So let's select. Here we can concatenate just because nothing was asked. So let's just do it because I just want to give an example. Okay. So take your first name. Take your blank, take your last name, and what do we want to show? The average mark of each student. So use your average function. What are we averaging? What is the field called? Grade. Right? And of course, I want to do an as. That would be a good enough heading. Okay, so one job done. The lists, the fields have been selected. Oops. We'll have to say an as name here. Okay, so please see that fields have proper names. Here you should be doing it automatically because I don't want to see a heading called concat first name blank last name. I don't want to see that heading. And in the other one, the average grade is not so bad, but always give a good display heading. So without saying it goes for all calculated fields, these are calculated fields, you should have a proper heading, display name. These are called display names. They're not doing anything to your table. Of course, they are not. Okay, from what table? From the table called this. Okay, what are we saying? Oh, just the average mark. Okay, so just the average mark. So group by, no where condition. I should put that on keywords, then I don't have to do this. Group by student number. Oh, we wanted to show the average mark rounded to 1 place of decimal. Okay, I'll do that. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. No, nothing. No ordering, nothing. You could do it order by 2. Like, I mean, the average mark, I mean, that's not a big deal. Nothing has been asked, but you can order it. Show in descending order by, just so that you can just by average. Again, whatever you want to try. Okay, so we'll do an order by. And we'll use field number 2. I don't want to change that average mark. And we'll do descending. Okay, now this should work. So let's make it, see if the answer works. Everybody is, no. Okay, 2 guys have 100. Right? I said everybody has, something is wrong in the logic then. It's just an average. And again, this is again for you here. So this is your exercise and this is your solution. I mean, if it makes sense, it's not a big deal, but it just helps you, the grouping, the average, and then the casting is what I'm going to do. And then giving it a proper heading and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's see if it works. It does work, right? I want you to only show me 1 place after decimal. That's what you do, what I want you to do. So this is all you have to do. It's not a big thing. It's just a casting. Okay, so where you have it, use the cast function. I'll just put it in a different line so that you can see. Use the cast function. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think I could be wrong. It's been a while, but I think I'm right, as decimal. Yep, as decimal. And 4, 1. See if I have the right brackets. No, I don't. One more to go. There. So casting is what it says. Casting as what? It just says, again, you can look up the cast function. That's what I had to do. Like I knew it was there, but of course, to make it work, you have to know its right syntax. So I said, take the grade, average grade, cast it as a decimal with 1 place after decimal. I haven't tried this. Of course, this should work. And this is what the answer will be. Right? 4 and 3. 3. I knew it 3. I did a 4 because 100% is the maximum average you can get. So 100 and 1 place after decimal. So 3 before, 1 after is 4. So I did a 4 and a 1 because it was easy. I'm just trying like we do in Java where we don't mention the first one. I'm not sure that's a syntax error, right? Where you say percentage point to F, for example. I don't know what 0 will do. Like it isn't a syntax error, but let's see. Maybe 0 says just take its length. I'm trying to see if there's a default. That's all I'm trying to see. No, it doesn't like it. Oh, yep, cast it doesn't. Okay, so I'll have to stick with this. I just did a 4. 4 was an educated guess because maximum you have 100. Average is 100, right? Because we are talking about out of 100. Of course, if your marks were out of 1,000, then it will be different. It will be different. For me, it was out of 100, and I said average maximum is 100. 100.0, 4 places in all, 1 place after decimal. So I went with the 4, 1. I didn't even think of changing or zeroing or doing it without it, but it's giving me syntax. Maybe there is a way. If I Google it, I'll find something. But by hit and trial, I'm not able to do it. It would be nice if you don't have to mention this first one, then you don't have to bother about the data. You know what I mean? You're only saying I need 1 place after decimal. Doesn't matter what is the total length. I'll Google it while you do your homework. I didn't Google it. I just did it this way. So that works, right? So there is no having by in this one, but it's just a different casting that you haven't seen before. So whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter where you learned it. You can use it wherever you like. I mean, the cast function is the cast function. If I say, set this field to with after 2 places of decimal to values this, just use the cast function on the right-hand side of the set statement. Doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter where you're using the function. It just means that you know of the function and you know how to use it. Okay. So that kind of covers complex select statements. I think so. I haven't left out anything. Sometimes that's why I get my notes that I don't forget anything. Seems like I've covered everything. That's why I put those comments in there so that I know what to cover. That takes care of complex set statements, right? So next week I want to do normalization, and then we must embark on joins, especially for you guys because you're going to miss another Monday soon, August 1st week or something, right? So I have to kind of push you guys a little. So maybe you guys will have to take your in-class take-homes. I mean, I just have to keep a close watch that you work independently. Okay, now your assignment. So, of course, you cannot finish it. Please put it in by midnight. Please work independently on it.